Welcome back. It's your boy, Handsome Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of nerds. And today, for Kickstart My Review, we are going to bring you Paint the Roses. But before we begin, don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Okay, so for those of you who do not know Paint the Roses, this is a Kickstarter that came out this year. It's by North Star Games. The designer is Ben Goldman, and the artist is Jackie Davis. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 11 and up, and it's approximately 60 minutes. I think it just depends on the module, though.
Yeah.
Or how quickly you get beat.
Yeah, we've had like 5-minute games. So this is a cooperative logic deduction game, and so
Forced guessing.
forced guessing. So everyone at the table plays a set of twins that are gardening for the Queen of Hearts, and the Queen of Hearts gives you secret whims. Like, I want 2 red roses next to each other.
Yeah. To build in the garden.
Right, and then so you are trying to get your fellow teammates to guess what your whim card is by which tile you place on the board.
And then how many cubes you place on that tile. So
Right, it's how many matches.
Yeah, how many matches. So if you're trying to get a red tile or red roses next to red roses, then you might put a red tile in between 2 other red tiles and then put 2 cubes on it to show that there are 2 matches.
Right. Sometimes there's no red in the greenhouse and
Yeah,
you
so there's
still got to
no
put
tile
something out
available.
there. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start right with gameplay. So we kind of already started to explain it.
It's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot more to it than that. Other
Right.
than you have to guess, and as you're guessing, the whims come in easy, medium, or hard. And if you guess the whim, then you get to move forward around the board so far.
That many spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. So easy or 1 or 2, medium or 2 or 3 spaces, and hard or 4 and 5. Easy is only a color to color. Medium is color to color or shape to shape.
So you might have spade, diamond, heart, or club.
Right. And hard are color to color, shape to shape, or color to shape. So basically any possible combination. And then each time you move past, they use the white rabbit as an example, but each time you pass these checkpoints on the board as you're going around it, the queen will speed up by 1. She gains this flower under her, so she moves 1 each turn until you pass the white rabbit. But if you guess wrong, she moves double her movement. So in the beginning it's 2 spaces because it was 1. It started at 1, you got it wrong, so it would be 2. Once you pass the white rabbit once, she now moves 2, so if you get it wrong, that's 4, 3 and 6.
If she catches
etc.,
up to you, she chops your head off.
Right, so if she catches you on the tracker, the game is over, you lost.
Off with your head.
Off with our heads. So, I guess you get 4 spots on your greenhouse. There's a couple modules that'll add a 5th spot, but for the most part, the standard game, you get 4 spots, and
you're randomly put the tiles
you're
from the
pulling
bag.
tiles from a bag randomly. So in the previous example we gave, red to red, if there's no red tiles available to place you're putting out a match that won't match. And your teammates still have to make a guess. Now, where I think this game excels is at the higher player count, the 4 and 5. We played this game at 5, but we also played this game a lot at 2.
Yeah. And
frequently you could not make a match with what was possible on the board. And so your partners, in the 2-player game you do get 3 chances to skip. But after that...
She still moves 1 though, right?
Right, yeah. She'll still move her regular movement, even if you skip your guess, but she won't move double for guessing wrong. So there's another part of this game that is basically these 6 these 6 modules in which the queen gets a deck of cards and you have someone trying to help you out of the garden. Because in the base game, you're basically just running around constantly for your life.
Yeah.
This one, there's 5 keys to unlock the gate to the garden, which allows you to escape and no longer be a servant to the Queen of Hearts. So it's all your favorite Alice in Wonderland characters. There's the Mad Hatter, Cheshire Cat,
Tweedledee,
Alice,
Tweedledum.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Jabberwocky, and I think that's it.
There's 6 modules.
White Rabbit, did I say that one?
I think so.
This game is hard. Those modules are kind of like this.
I can't thread this needle.
Here, I can help.
Ah! How is that supposed to help?
Hey, Pumpkin, can you give me a hand with these wires?
Sure, honey.
Ah! Not very helpful.
No. You'd think the whole point is that they're there to help you.
And they do. I mean, their cards help you.
But the new restrictions in those modules.
Right. Then they add more goals for you to get the keys to escape before you fill up the garden.
Yeah.
And it makes it pretty I mean, some of our fastest losses were with those modules, because the queen also gets better or faster
and
at catching you.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum is probably impossible at 2 players. Probably impossible.
We got I think that was a 5-minute game. We got absolutely annihilated with Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Which, I mean, even if you were to describe the rules of Tweedledee and Tweedledum, you'd be like, that's impossible.
Right, yeah. So in order to get a key for that particular module, you need to get 2 matches in 1 turn.
Yeah, so I have to guess his card, he has to guess my card.
In the same turn.
In the same turn. No wrong guesses.
Right. And that is pretty darn tough at 2 players. At least if you have 5, you can get 4 turns of knowledge on those last 2 players' cards to try to guess both of them at the same time. When it's just 2 of you, I don't think it's possible. So art and components. So one thing we gotta mention first, we did get the deluxe edition. Now I'm not sure what the retail will be, how much of the deluxe, because this was a Kickstarter, so when they go to retail, it's tough to know exactly which form they're gonna bring. But these components are just beautiful.
Awesome.
Just absolutely beautiful. They've got a really nice plastic molding to hold all the tiles, hold all the miniatures, hold the little cubes, the little flower petals that speed up the queen. The board is double layered, so the tiles fit perfectly in there.
Yeah, they sit in nicely.
Even the greenhouse is double layered, so the tiles don't go sliding around. The cubes that sit on the space, they're pretty generic. Lots of cubes, nothing wrong with them. Only thing is, you start stacking a bunch of cubes on there, sometimes it's hard to see what the shape or the color is actually
You gotta lay
on
them
there,
around
so you
everyone
kind
can
of
still see.
sliding them around a little bit. And what was that? What'd you play?
Yeah.
Just because it does it, you basically you're covering the art with all these cubes, especially in a 5-player game. If you get several people putting their cubes on there, designating that they've made a match with that, it can get a little cluttered. But that's not. I don't know of a way that they could have fixed that. You know, if you kept the cubes out separately, you may forget. You know, if they don't guess your whim that turn, those cubes just stay out there. And if another person puts a tile on the other side of the board, and that's also a match for you, you put more cubes there. So I don't know how else they would have fixed that. I don't have a better idea. So I think it's sort of a necessary evil. I thought the cards were fine. I think they are a little bit smaller than normal.
I would say that they're the exact size.
They're smaller.
Okay.
They're a little bit smaller than normal playing cards.
I'm thinking of the cards for the extra modules.
Oh yeah, the module cards
are a little bigger.
Yeah, those are bigger than the whim cards, but not. They might be regular playing.
Yeah, they might
cards.
be regular.
Maybe a little bit smaller. So story/theme. We actually didn't talk about this one. There's very little story. I've already given you the entire story.
I mean, it's the queen trying to get you to build a garden for her, and she's chasing you down and going to chop your head off if you don't do it the way she wants.
Right, but you are working, you're doing all of her whims, so I'm not sure why she's still trying to kill you.
She's just mean.
She's just a mean lady.
She's just a mean old lady.
I wish I knew what that was like. What about theme? Did the theme come through for you?
I feel like it did. I mean, you definitely feel like you're building a garden, and you know, with any garden, you have to make sure that you follow a specific pattern. Certain plants need to go next to certain plants, or it won't look good. Things like that. I mean, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And it then makes sense that sort of the queen starts behind you, and you know, in the beginning, you can kind of build a decent lead.
Yeah.
And then once you pass that white rabbit too many times, she starts getting angrier and angrier and faster and faster. And if she's at 4 or 5 and you guess wrong, I mean you're done. This is game over.
And it's got the different suits, the heart, spade, club, and diamond. So that also feels thematic.
Right. Yeah. And then painting the roses. I think that is.
Yeah.
I think that's a scene in the book. I'm not sure if any of the movies have done that.
I was terrified of the movie.
I forget which character was supposed to paint a rose like pink, and they painted it white instead or something, and the queen flipped out on them. So there is a precedent for that, and so kind of all fits together. So we put all of our games into one of 3 categories. Play means it hits the table as often as possible. Display means you leave it on the shelf and break it out when the urge strikes. Or stay away means you leave it at the store for someone else to get. And for us, Paint the Roses is a display. This, I don't think it's a 2-player game.
No.
Especially with the modules.
But we enjoyed it at 5 players.
Right, at 5 players, we had a new to the hobby person there. She really enjoyed it.
Yeah, she was talking about getting it for her roommates, so.
Mom and Dad. But.
No, be nice.
But yeah, when you only have 2 players, if you play a tile that has no matches for you because there was nothing better in the greenhouse or nothing better in the garden, and then your teammate, your single teammate, also doesn't have a matches, you basically have to burn one of your cubes, or
she's catching up to you fast.
Take a 1 in 30 chance.
She still is catching up to you because she still has to move 1 space, even if you use a cube.
Yeah. Well,
really-
she moves her movement.
Yeah.
So if you're on 4 and you choose to skip that turn, she will still move 4 to catch up to you. We have beaten this game. It is a challenge, and we do like our cooperative games to have quite the challenge. The modules are just a nightmare. I mean, those giving the queen more abilities, like there's multiple cards. It's like if you play a red or
She
a
moves.
red or yellow, she moves 2. So like she's
moves
literally,
more.
you know, we played that card
There's only
happened to
4
come
colors.
up. And there's only 4 colors, and 50% of them are bad.
Yeah.
The entire greenhouse was filled with nothing but those 2 colors. I think she caught us before we even hit the white rabbit the first time.
Yeah.
So there was nothing we could do. I think having a way to cycle the greenhouse would have been nice. Maybe if you could spin one of your cubes to take out all of the tiles of the greenhouse and refill it. That could have helped.
Yeah. It's like, well, I need a yellow, but the greenhouse is full of purple.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Or even like you need a spade and it's all hearts.
Right, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it could be, you know, there's 4 suits and 4 colors, so there's only 4 spots.
Yeah.
So it's very easily, you cannot have a pink in those 4 spots. But overall, we think it's a solid introductory game for new players. We think it's better at maybe 4 or 5 than it is 2 or 3. And we're going to keep it around. And it's so beautiful to look at.
It's very easy to teach.
So beautiful to look at.
It's pretty.
This thing, game companies, it's like a little thing of chocolates. It slides right into the box. Look at that. It's awesome.
Well, can we also get chocolates too?
Can we paint them?
I don't want to paint them. I just want to eat them.
Well, we can get them if we can paint them.
And then eat
Yeah.
them?
All right. Well, let us know in the comment section if you've played this game, if you agree with us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Do you need a haircut? You want to be in a video?
Clifford, you're famous. I'm supposed to say how handsome I am after I say hi.
How handsome I am.
No, I'm supposed to say that.
There you go.
Upland Brewery, Patio Cat, hit me up.
It's an Upland Brewery in Indiana.
I don't know.
Gotta get those young people eyes
Yeah,
on.
Bloomington, Indiana.